All right, so now we're going to level up a little bit and we're going to move to two-digit addition using the dot system. So just as a review, take your paper out and you want to write that one has got one dot on top. Two has got a dot on either end. Three has got a dot on the ends. Again, four has got the dots on the ends. And five has, again, the dots on the ends, except it's got a dot on the end of the curve. Now, six, as we talked about before, you could put three dots anywhere you want and just count them two times. Okay. Seven, again, you're going to put a dot on the end and count it two times. Put a dot in the middle. Eight's like a domino. You've got four dots on each circle. And nine, of course, is the most difficult, but you've got the circle and it's a big number, so you're going to count it two times in the circle and put a dot at the end. Okay. Now, 10 is not needed. You'll never need that. So let's talk about two-digit addition. If you had a number which is 12 and you had to add 1, what you're going to do is you're going to divide your question by these columns. So you have a 2 and you have to add a 1. Now, again, let's do exactly what we've done before. The bigger number is the 2. So you don't ever have to count the 2. You're just going to count the 1, and the 1 always has a dot on the top. So you're going to count up from the 2. So you're going to start with 2. And you're going to say, what's the next number? 3. And the answer is going to be 3. Then you're going to go to the next column and you're going to say there's a 1, but there's nothing underneath it. Well, if there's nothing, you're going to go grab the 0. Which, by the way, we didn't talk about the 0 yet. The 0 has no dots. So you're not going to do anything with a 0. And whenever there's a blank, you're going to just count it as a 0. In other words, you're going to do nothing. So all you're going to do is say 1 plus 0. Well, 0 is nothing. So I'm going to say 1 plus nothing is 1. And I'm going to bring the 1 down. And the answer is going to be 13. So that's your basic double-digit addition. Now, let's go erase this. And let's do one that's a little more complicated. And let's take 4 plus 13. Now, again, we're going to use our dot math. It's all about dot math. Okay. First thing we're going to do is we're going to look for the large number. Well, that's the 4. So we're not going to bother counting the 4. We're going to take the 4 and we're going to count up using the dot system. So we're going to start with 4 and we're going to say 5, 6, 7, and we're going to put the 7 underneath it. And remember, we've got columns. Okay. So now we have a 7, and now we're going to say blank plus 1. Well, that blank is a 0. So all we're going to do is take the 1, put it down here, and our answer is 17. So let's level it up a little bit even more. So we're going to erase our board and let's go to bigger numbers. Now we're going to go 12 plus 13. Now, again, I'm going to put a line down the middle. It's always a smart thing to do. Look for the biggest number. So we're going to start with this column and then go to this column. So this is first and this is second. So we're going to start with the bigger number in column 1. Okay. Well, that's a 3. So we're going to start with the 3 and we're going to count up using the dot method. There's 3, 4, 5. There's the 4. There's the 5. And we're going to put the 5 right down there. Now we don't have blanks over here. We've got 2 ones. Now, when you have the same number, you can't say, well, which one's bigger, but it doesn't matter which one you take. I'm going to take the first one, the top one, and I'm going to add the second one. So I'm going to start with 1 and I'm going to go to the next number. The next number is 2. So start with 1 and add 1. Takes me to 2. And I'm going to put the 2 down here. 12 plus 13 is 25. See, now you've leveled up. You kind of are pretty smart because you know what to do. But what happens when one of the numbers is a little bit bigger? So let's take 25 plus 46. Wow, this is going to be challenging. Or is it? Because we know our dots. And remember, you have 2 columns. So you're really just adding 5 plus 6 and 2 plus 4. But there's this little thing that comes in where if your number is bigger than 9, you're going to give it to the next column. You're going to say, hey, you're so cool. I'm going to give you a number. Okay? Because I have an extra one. So, first of all, the very first thing we're going to do is going to find the bigger number. That's going to be 6, right? And we're going to count the 5. So we're going to go 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, we have 11, but there's only space for one number down here. So we're going to take the one on the right and put it down here. And we're going to take the one on the left, that's this one, and we're going to give it to this guy over here. Now, how do we give it? We just put it on top. And you know the dot math system. Start with the larger number over here, which is 4, and just count up. 5, 6, 7. Now notice we had to add that 1. Now notice my ones, I don't have that line at the bottom and the top because I'm lazy. I just do a line, right? So these are actually ones, but I'm lazy. I don't use them. So the most important thing here is we started with a 6 and we counted 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then we said, wait a minute, I put my 11 over here and I took this number, the one on the far right, and I put it down here. Then I took this other number and I put it over here, and I just added everything up there. Now, some of you are going to say, oh my gosh, that's so complicated. But guess what? It's not. You could figure it out because we're going to turn it into a game. Because in my mind, math is always a game. So we're going to start here and we're going to go back and say 32 plus 12. Now, let's see if you can do that on your own. Take a few minutes. Okay, pause the video if you need it. But now, the first thing I do is put little dots in between, because you got to line these up. This is column 1 and then column 2. And you always start in math on the right. Okay? So both these numbers are the same, so it doesn't matter which one you start with. So we're going to start with this one and say 2, 3, 4. And where do we put the 4? Underneath. The reason we put it underneath and not on the side is it doesn't have 2 digits. Now, what's 2 digits? Well, 1 is 1 digit, 2 is 1 digit. These are called 1 digit. What's a 2 digit? 2 digit is something like 12. The number has 2 numbers in it, like 99. It's 2 digits. Okay. So because it has 1 digit, we're simply going to put it in the first column. Now, we don't have anything we're going to give to the other column. We're going to be stingy. Okay, it's only 1 digit. We've got nothing we're going to share. So it's 2, 3, 4, and we're going to put 4 down here. Nothing goes over here. So now we're going to start with the big number 3, and we're going to add the dots on the 1. So we're going to go 3 and just count up 4. 32 plus 12 is 44. Boom. If you got that answer, good job. All right, let's challenge you again. It's going to be your last and final challenge, and let's see how well we can go here. So let's take, you're going to love this one, 38 plus 12. Now, what did we start with? Try this on your own. Let's see if you get the correct answer. Okay, your first step, put your little dotted lines to divide. The next thing you're going to do is we always start with the guy on the right. Why do we start with the guy on the right? Because he's always right. Okay. So we're going to start with the big number. We don't need to count it because it's a big number. We're going to say 8, 9, 10. It's going to be 9. It's going to be 10. Now, because it's 2 digits, we're going to put it over here. And we're going to say the guy on the right always goes to the right. So we're going to move the 0 over here. And we're going to give that second digit to the guy on the left. Going to come over here and we're going to give him a 1. Now we just add it using the dot method. Who's the bigger number? Bigger number always goes first. So we start with 3 and we're going to add the guy underneath, which is 4. And we're going to add this guy, which is 5. So 38 plus 12 is 50. And that's it for double digit math.